We're going to see West Bromwich Albion versus Plymouth Argyle in the Champions League final with the Champions League theme. That is ridiculous. Hello everyone, welcome back. It's TGR, that's Gaming Robo. Guys, we have done 100 years into the future, but we have not used any real players for this game. Now, we've already done 150 years into the future, which you can see on the top right hand screen, the card up there. But we wanted to do something different. We wanted to see what would happen to the leagues, to the English League, what would happen to any of the teams who did not have any of the real players during these 100 years period. Now, as always guys, before we crack on, please make sure that you do smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and hit that notification bell too, and with the notifications, select all on the notifications so you know when the latest video has been uploaded to my channel. But guys, let's hit the intro and let's see what has happened to the Championship Manager 0102 100 years into the future, where there is no real players. So guys, as I said, we've gone 100 years into the future and we've not used any real players. Now, my main focus is, before we start trudging away, looking through the Premier League, etc., I want to see what teams are in the non-league that are generically in Premier League, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3. So first of all, I see straight away Aston Villa. They are in the non-league. They're bankrupt as well, and their stadium is 3,450. Oh my god, what has happened to Villa Park? Right, okay, so Aston Villa is the main casualty so far. Having a look through some of these other teams here, I can't see anyone else. So we'll go Blackburn Rovers. No way, they're in they're in non-league football as well, but their stadium is 40,000. So Aston Villa must have been in non-league football for a long time. We should have a look at that actually. Have a look to see how long Aston Villa has been out of competition football for. Well, they've been out of the conference for nearly 10 years. Wow. Okay, so as I said, we saw Blackburn Rovers. How long have they been out of football for? Wow. They've been out of football for 25 years. Try to see if there's anyone else. Cambridge United. We'll go domestic leagues. They've only been out of football for about 4 or 5 seasons. Okay, so they're the only team so far we've come across. So we'll go down a little bit more. And Everton are in there. Kingsdock, Liverpool, 11,000 seaters with a retractable roof. Oh my god. And they've only just entered non-league football the past couple of seasons. Derby County as well, they've got 42,000 stadium, and they've been out of football for about 6 years now, out of league football. Right, there's no one else there. I'm looking for big teams. So at the moment, you know, we've come across a few. Hartlepool, and they've been out of football for how long? 7 years. And no one else that I can see from here. So we'll scroll down a little bit more, and we're going to come across anyone else. No one there. Lincoln, Middlesbrough, 45,000 seater stadium, and they've been in non-league football for 4 seasons. Oldham, Peterborough, and Preston North End, they're all in non-league football as well. So is Reading. Oh my god, it's more teams than what I thought there would be. Southend United, Rochdale. Oh my days. Have we come to a grinding halt? No, we haven't. Stevenage, I think they might have been lower league football, but Stockport County, they're in non-league football as well. Right, anyone else before we start looking through each individual league? West Ham United, 35,000 seater stadium, and they've been in non-league football for 5 years, 6 years. Okay, so that's the teams in non-league football. So we're going to have a look at the Conference League first of all. Well, before in fact we start looking at the Conference League, let's start looking at the history of these trophies. So English FA Trophy, so we start from 2001-2002, and you see teams that you should be seeing. Then you start seeing teams like Shrewsbury and Oxford starting winning the FA Trophy. Barnet, sorry, Shrewsbury Town, Notts County, Halifax, Cheltenham, Hartlepool against Swansea, Oxford winning it a couple of times. Oxford are in the final 3 years in a row. Cambridge United, Swansea, Oxford, Hereford and Shrewsbury. Middlesbrough, the first big team I've seen winning this. Well, big team, they were in the Premier League anyway, in 2096. Alright, we'll have a look at the Charity Shield all the way from 2001-2002. So Liverpool started off. Then Middlesbrough, Leicester, Arsenal, Tottenham, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, West Brom in 2012. Hull were in the final in 2008, and Liverpool and Portsmouth in 2017. Sheffield United won it in 2021. Tranmere in 2028, and Rotherham the following year after that. Bristol City beat Arsenal. Coventry, Portsmouth, Charlton are in it. Plymouth Argyle 2034 winning the Charity Shield. Wimbledon, oh my days. And you see teams like Bournemouth, Rotherham, Leyton Orient, Bristol Rovers, Rotherham, QPR, Coventry. Oh my God. Port Vale. We are going to have a look at some of these teams in a minute, because we need to see what has happened to Purfleet. We need to see what has happened to some of these teams, because they've got obviously not real players. Telford United in 2087 were in the Charity Shield. Alright, we're going to have a look through the Vange Trophy now and see if any big teams have won the Vange Trophy. Okay, so we're looking through, and so far West Ham United in 2008, they were in the final against Huddersfield and lost. What other teams from the Premiership are in the Vange Trophy? Villa 2023, and they lost to Exeter City. Oh my God. Marine were in the final against Sheffield United 2024. Then they're in the final again in 2027. They beat Crewe. Kidderminster Harry, Southampton 2031 against Stoke. Derby County 2 years later against Southend. Bolton the year after against Yeovil Town. My team, Torquay United, in 2041 we got to the final. Blackburn 2 years later were in the final, and again in 2048. Newcastle 2056 they won it. Yeovil 2 years finalists. Sheffield Wednesday 2062 they lost to Weymouth. Man City 2066, Bolton the year before. Crystal Palace in 2070, Torquay got to the final again and lost to Man City. The year after, Newcastle beat Oxford. Fulham lost to Telford in 2079. Oh my god, Arsenal were in this literally 20 years ago. Ilkeston Town beat Coventry City in the final, and they did it again a few years afterwards against Grimsby Town. Sunderland in 2093, Middlesbrough 97. Oh my god, so many big teams that are in there then. What about the League Cup? Let's start all the way down from the beginning again. So Liverpool won it in the first season, but then Wolves won it the second season. No way. Portsmouth in 05 were in the final. Bristol City won it in 06. Millwall in the final in 2010. I mean, you look at these teams here. Birmingham City getting to the final 2 years in a row, becoming finalists. I mean, I can mention every single team that you see at the moment, but I'm looking for an absolute major uproar, like a team that should be in the non-league, and you see them in the final. Because the League Cup, you can imagine that sometimes the rare things happen, like Scarborough 2036 winning the League Cup final against Manchester City. That is not meant to happen, but it has happened. Let's go down. Oh my god, I'm looking at this. Doncaster in the final, Grimsby winning it, Tranmere winning it, Leyton Orient winning it in 2053, and then were finalists the year after against Scunthorpe. Wrexham winning it in 2058. Barnsley finalists 1 year, then they won it the year after against Liverpool. Mansfield Town. Wrexham getting to the final a few times here. And then Marine wins it in 2070. That is just absolutely bonkers. Weymouth beating Man United in 2077. Plymouth Argyle beating Liverpool in 2078. Plymouth again winning it against Portsmouth. Purfleet and Haribo Borough in the League Cup final in 2089. Plymouth won it a fair few times. Millwall won it 3 years in a row. Stafford Rangers getting to the final. Clevedon winning it against Leeds. Harrow Borough again winning it only a few years ago. I've already seen a major shock result with Kingstonian winning it. So we'll start off here. So Liverpool, Arsenal, Middlesbrough, West Brom, Bradford getting to the final in 2005, Millwall the year after, Charlton winning it in 2007, then Hull, then Arsenal winning it 3 years in a row, West Brom winning it. That is just ridiculous. Chelsea were a couple of times, Hull beating West Brom in the final in 2015. Portsmouth, Crewe, Liverpool, Bristol City, Newcastle, Chesterfield. I remember Chesterfield getting to the FA Cup final. This is going back to the mid-90s, so that's a remarkable thing. Southend FA Cup finalists against Sheffield United. Portsmouth beating Arsenal. I mean, look at that. Tranmere Rovers 2028 against West Brom. Hull getting to the final against Middlesbrough. Plymouth Argyle winning it against Preston North End. Coventry beating Scarborough. Then they lose the final the year after against the Crazy Gang, Wimbledon. Scarborough, their names coming up a few times, as well as Leyton Orient and Bristol Rovers. Yeovil I've mentioned a couple of times before. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Port Vale. I mean, I'm skipping over the fact that, you know, you've got teams like Mansfield and Wrexham in the FA Cup final. But Port Vale winning it in 2052. And Leyton Orient the year after. And Doncaster Rovers the year after that. Barnsley in 2061. This is... I can't believe how ridiculous this is. Tottenham beat Notts County in the final. Forest beat Purfleet. The year after, Purfleet win it against Bournemouth. Bristol Rovers beating Burton Albion. Wrexham in 2072. And Wrexham win it again in 2075. Northampton the year after that. This is ridiculous. Notts County winning it. United winning it. Purfleet 2079. West Brom in 2080. Telford again in 2083 against Man United. The year after, Plymouth Argyle wins it again. Chelsea beat Stafford Rangers the year after that. Telford again, Telford again, Telford again. It is great to see Telford United winning it so many times. Where we've done the live stream of managing Telford United from the rock bottom and getting them to become, you know, absolute world beaters on this game. But this is incredible. Plymouth Argyle finalists a couple of years in a row. Then you get to teams like Northampton, Millwall, Purfleet beating Man City, Colchester beating Halifax, Gillingham beating Man U, and Kingstonian winning the FA Cup the last season just gone. Alright, we're going to start off with the conference and then we'll work through our way up, and then we'll have a look at, you know, some of these big teams. Now, I want to look for the teams that shouldn't be in the conference. I want to see the teams in this final section here. So, Oxford United, they shouldn't be in it. I mean, then you see teams like Southend or Oxford again, Swansea, Telford winning the conference in 2017. Exeter City, Swansea again, Hartlepool, Swansea, Shrewsbury, Hartlepool again. So they are having a yo-yo time going in and out of the Football League. Barnet, Mansfield, Port Vale, Oxford again, Swansea again, Bury, Notts County, Shrewsbury there, Notts County again, Shrewsbury again, Cambridge United, Colchester, Telford, Villa, Aston Villa 2043, the first Premier League team that I've seen so far winning the Conference League in 2043. So in the space of 42 years, Aston Villa have gone into the Conference League. That is stupid. Absolutely stupid. Colchester winning it, Reading winning it. Fulham 2058. 56 years later, 57 years later, they're in the Conference League and winning it. I mean, I'm lost for words. I really am. I do not understand how they can get that far down that quickly. Fulham in 2072. This is just stupid. West Ham runners up in 2070. I hate to think what the Premier League's going to look like. I dread to think. Villa winning it again in 2087. Bolton were runners up in 2092 behind Kingstonian. And then you got likes of Swindon, Cardiff, Bolton winning it in 2098. Ipswich Town were runners up that year. That is just ridiculous. Well, we'll have a look at Division 3. So we start with 2001. So Brighton won it the first season. No, I lie. It's Luton that wins it the first season, isn't it? Then you see teams like Torquay United winning it in 2010. That's brilliant to see, especially for me. Slough winning it. Torquay winning it again in 2016. Norwich winning it in 2018. No major teams so far. And this is only 2018. Rochdale, Purfleet, runners up in Division 3 in 2020. So Purfleet started it. Norwich runners up in 2024. Oh my god. Everton 2029. Runners up in Division 3. Everton. Wrexham winning it again in 2032. Croydon, Tamworth. This is I just can't believe it. I really can't. Hampton and Richmond wins it in 2036. Then you see Sunderland runners up in 2039. Croydon, Purfleet are up there too. So's Weymouth, Purfleet again, Hampton and Richmond again, Weymouth again, Purfleet, Harrow, Scarborough, Halifax. The teams go on and on. Crystal Palace were runners up, Wigan runners up, Villa runners up, Southampton runners up in 2049. Bradford City in 2050. Oh my god, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the teams. Let's see. So Harrow, Barrow is through there again. Croydon, Southampton winning it in 2062. Hucknall, Marine, Torquay runners up in 2055. Sheffield United runners up 2059. I just can't believe how crazy this season goes. Basingstoke, can't even talk. Basingstoke Town winners in 2073. Clevedon, Croydon were in there again. Sunderland runners up. So was Fulham the year after. Folkestone winners, their Marine runners up. Newcastle winning it in 2081. I've missed one there. Croydon, Sunderland, Torquay winning it again in 2087. Bradford winning it, Oxford, Kingstonian 2094. Crewe, Northampton, Spennymoor, Havant and Waterlooville, sorry, in 2100. Oh my god, we're having a look at Division 2 now. And 2002 started off with Wigan winning it. So who was the first big team to win Division 2? Bradford 2014. Got no other big teams there. QPR maybe. Blackpool, Derby 2020. First Premiership team. First Premiership team I see that wins Division 2 in 2020. Bolton 8 years later. Looking at the runners up, Plymouth runners up in 2029. 2035 we were on. So Lincoln, Port Vale, Charlton 2047, another Premiership team winning it. Crystal Palace 2050, Derby 2052. Runners up wise, I mean, you've got Blackburn Rovers in 2043 runners up. Middlesbrough 2052, they were runners up behind Derby County. Newcastle United 2058. Plymouth Argyle 2059, then 2061, so they got relegated literally the year they get promoted. Bolton runners up in 2060. Merthyr Tydfil 2062, second division champions. Weymouth 2066 champions. Morecambe winning it in 2069. QPR winning it. Harrow, Liverpool runners up in 2071. I mean, this is crazy. It really is crazy. Leicester City winners in 2081. Torquay United winners in 2089. So we know for a fact that my team got to the first division in 2089-2090 season. Coventry winners in 2090. Liverpool winners in 2093. Arsenal runners up behind Weymouth in 2094. Oh, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So first division history. So we're looking at Man City, Watford. First team. So first Premier League team, Fulham in 2008, Villa 2011, Sunderland 2015, Southampton 2016. But you see other teams like Derby, Fulham, Ipswich, Blackburn, Derby, Blackburn, Leeds, Ipswich again, Derby again. Southend were in the Premier League in 2019. The year after, Leyton Orient were in the Premier League. Southampton, Rotherham, they were in the Premier League. Bournemouth, Chesterfield. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Northampton. Wrexham and Scarborough were in the Premier League. How stupid is that? Leyton Orient, Tranmere are in there again. Bristol City were in there. Wrexham, Bristol City again. Tranmere, Man United. Man United were relegated to Division 1. So we know for a fact they were relegated to Division 1. If I recall rightly, that's all the big teams. They have been relegated so far. Let's see. Scarborough again. Mansfield, Chesterfield, Birmingham City back in the Premier League. Halifax, Plymouth Argyle, Purfleet. They were all in the Premier League. Marine were in the Premier League. Harrow Barrow in the Premier League. Crewe, Purfleet again, Halifax, Weymouth, Mansfield, Aldershot, Northampton Town, Scunthorpe, Basingstoke Town. They too were in the Premier League. This is ridiculous. This is really ridiculous. I mean, it truly is. We're going to have a look at the Premier League history now. And alright, so for the first few seasons, it was Arsenal, then Man United, Arsenal again. So that's the generic sort of story, obviously, with, you know, how it normally plays out. It's these two teams. Then you get Chelsea, Birmingham City, Premier League champions in 2009. Skip ahead a year, Tottenham Hotspurs finally win a trophy in 2010. 2 years down, well, a year down the line, it's Newcastle. A year after that, Fulham wins the Premier League Championship. Charlton does it a few years later. I mean, I could mention Liverpool, but we all know that Liverpool does have a good team on this game, but with not real players, that's incredible. Then it seems to be Liverpool-Arsenal domination for 7 years. Portsmouth winning the Premier League title, but it gets even crazier with Rotherham winning the Premier League title. Coventry doing it as well. This Rotherham were dominating English football. Winners, runners-up, winners during a 4-year period. We haven't even mentioned the fact that Tranmere came runners-up in 2036. Leeds winning it, Coventry back to winning ways, United winning it on an off chance, Bournemouth winning the Premier League, Sheffield United, Leyton Orient runners-up in 2048. 2052, Man U, Arsenal. So that's a recognised story there. Then Tottenham beating Arsenal, United getting it back. What, 1, 2, 3 years in a row they were in the title race. Doncaster Rovers and Wrexham and Mansfield and Brentford and Barnsley. But not only does it get ridiculous, it gets more ridiculous with the fact that Plymouth Argyle were Premier League champions in 2069. That's filthy for me. I can't stand looking at Plymouth Argyle being champions. Wolves runner-up, Rotherham winning it. Plymouth Argyle again. Seriously, look, they just could not stop winning the Premier League title. 4 years in a row they were in a title race. No, they wasn't. It's not 4 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Harrow Borough winning it in 2082. United looks like they had a dominance there in 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons. Plymouth Argyle coming runners up there. Tranmere stopping it. Telford United were runners up in 2088. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, Tranmere champions again. Millwall, Leicester City, Man City finally grabbing the Premier League title in 2099, 2101 and 2102. Well, we're going to have a look at the European Cups. So if we first of all start with the World Club Cup, Intercontinental Cup we'll have a look at first. I want to see if there is any radical teams that shouldn't be in there, like the teams that are below the division, the Premier Division. We need to see if any teams like that. And so far it seems to be a normal recurrence. Coventry City 2032 Intercontinental Cup champions. Coventry City in 2032. Birmingham City 2019. I totally overlooked that. Birmingham City 2019 Intercontinental Cup champions. Coventry doing it a few times there. Coventry again. Nantes is there. Red Star. Lyon. Anderlecht. Rotherham 2056. And again in 2057 they were finalists. Doncaster winning it in 2058. Mercia. Semi-professional team Mercia with a 73,500 seat stadium, and they are semi-pro. Wolves winning it in 2068. Rotherham the year after. Oh my god. Lokomotiv Moscow winning it in 76. West Brom runners up in 77. Plymouth Argyle winning it in 2080 and runners up the year after, and winning it again in 2085. That is bad. Tranmere runners up in 2092. Who the hell is Belzina? Belarusian team. Millwall finalists in 97. Oh my god, what about the World Club Cup? So Liverpool winning it first time, but we're not looking for the Premier League teams. We're looking for teams that are so obscure they should not be in there, full stop. And so far so good. I mean, I see DC United winning it in 2031. That's quite bad. Coventry City 2037. No way. No chuffing way. Kaiser Chiefs beating Cruz Azul. Rotherham 2057. Wrexham, the next competition after that, beating Doncaster in the final. I mean, this I can't think of the right words. Harrow Borough 2091 finalists. Tranmere 2093 winners. This is... my mind is frazzled by how stupid this is. All the way down to the beginning. The first obscure team to be in the Super Cup final. I mean, I've already seen it already. Finalist in 2011, Birmingham City and PSV. Club Brugge beating Dortmund in 2012. Birmingham City finalist again in 2019. Bristol City 2023 beating Roma in the final. After all the times where some of us guys struggled to beat Roma, Bristol City does it in 2023. No way. No way. Lokomotiv Moscow in the final in 2025. Coventry City 2032 beating Barcelona. Shut up. No way. And they win it again 2 years after that. Bromby beating Real Madrid. And Coventry City back to winning it again. Rotherham losing in the final in 2040. Coventry back to winning ways. Red Star beating Inter Milan. Leyton Orient losing to Chelsea. Bochum beating Real Madrid. Austria Vienna in the final in 2053. Anderlecht winning it. Rotherham winning it. Wrexham winning it. Doncaster in the final with Wrexham. Lokomotiv Moscow. Crew Alexandra winning it in 2062. Oh my god. Wrexham winning it again. Tottenham going on a massive streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Super Cup finals. Wolves winning it against Austria Vienna. Rotherham doing it again. Wrexham losing to Juventus in the final. West Brom beating Juventus in the final. Lokomotiv Moscow's come up a few times. Plymouth 2 years on the trot beating Paris Saint-Germain and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Lokomotiv Moscow again. Plymouth again. God, they're becoming dirty now. They're becoming too dirty. Torpedo Moscow. Apova. A Czech Republic team. Come on. Belshina. Belarusian team. Tranmere. Harrow Barrow finalists. Gillingham finalists. Baltica. Gotta look at Baltica. Russian team. Millwall losing to Fiorentina. Sturm Graz getting to the final against Inter. Leeds and Leicester in the final one time. And lastly, Man United beat Utrecht last year in the Super Cup. We'll have a quick look at the why am I looking at the Intertoto Cup? UEFA Cup, that's what I was meant to look at. So we start off with 0102 Juventus beating Feyenoord. Right, so we're looking at the first teams that's looking out of place already. Rosenborg in 2005 winning it. That is a joke. Spartak Moscow in 09. Fulham in the final in 2012 where they lost to Club Brugge. Birmingham the year before beating Lyon. Sweet Jesus, come on. Sturm Graz losing to Arsenal in 2018. Portsmouth losing to Milan in 2019. Rijeka losing to Inter Milan. Oh my god. Bristol City beating Napoli in 2023. Lokomotiv Moscow winning it in 2025 against Barcelona. Fulham losing to Dortmund in 29. Oh my god. Really? Christ's sake, Liverpool. Tyrrell Innsbruck beating Stuttgart. Samsun Spor losing in the final to Barcelona. Rennes beating Rosenborg. Bromby beating Utrecht. Hearts getting to the final against Juventus. Rotherham beating Feyenoord. Then the following year Feyenoord beat Besiktas, but then they lose to Tirol Innsbruck. Standard Liège beating QPR. Bournemouth losing to Milan. Red Star beating Manchester United. Lens getting to the final against Fiorentina. Austria Vienna beating Leverkusen. Motherwell getting to the final against Chelsea. Baltica beating Inter Milan. Here we go. So the first team that's ridiculous in my eyes in the English league, Wrexham beating Panathinaikos in 2058. Crewe beating Tottenham Hotspurs. Wrexham again beating Leeds. Tottenham Hotspurs are on a little streak there in the UEFA Cup. Austria Vienna beating Roma. Red Star losing to Sampdoria in the final. Dinamo beating Leeds United. Trabzonspor, I can't pronounce that team. Trabzonspor beating Aris. Really? Wrexham beating Anderlecht. Nantes beating Olympiacos. Plymouth losing to Aldershot in the final. Then they lost to Man City in the final the year after. Gillingham, Harrow Barrow winning. Torpedo Moscow, Opava. OB in the final against PSV. Braga in the final against Fenerbahce. Viking, what? Viking FK, Eric Nevland's team, in the final against Leicester City. And last season, Gillingham losing to Club Brugge. Well, we're going to have a look at the Champions League now. Then afterwards, we'll have a look at some of the main teams in question. So, firstly, Liverpool beating Roma in the final. But then the following year, Roma beats Arsenal, and then they lost to Milan in the following year. So, where is the first finalist? That is ridiculous. 2013, Dortmund Charlton in the Champions League final. Tottenham winning it in 2016. Standard Liège in 2017 finalist. Birmingham City beating Roma in 2019. I feel that we're going to see Roma a lot, but not as it progresses. Now, at the moment, I mean, Sturm Graz 2029, we're now starting to see silly teams like Coventry City winning the Champions League in 2032. Lokomotiv Moscow got to the final. Coventry City again. It's the same finals, 2032. Coventry City, Lazio, 2034. Coventry, Lazio. And the same result happens. Coventry won. And Coventry won again in 2036. And again in 2041. Coventry seems to be the most decorated team so far. I mean, they were in the final the year after against Nantes. Red Star winning it in 44, beating Coventry City. I'm sick and tired of saying Coventry City. Chelsea had a good few years. Rotherham beating Man United. Then they beat Wimbledon the year after. Doncaster beats Lyon. Lazio beating Mansfield Town. QPR and Tottenham final. Murcia beating Panathinaikos. Celtic beating Portsmouth. Wolves beating Rapid Vienna. Rotherham beating Murcia. Oh my god. This is just West Brom, Plymouth Argyle final. Imagine this. We sell it to you in, we're talking 54 years time. So 54 years time, so 2077. We're going to see West Bromwich Albion versus Plymouth Argyle in the Champions League final with the Champions League theme. That is ridiculous. No way. Plymouth Argyle, and again in 2080, Plymouth Argyle, West Bromwich Albion. Plymouth Argyle beating Lazio. Come on. Oh, Man United won it a few years then. Tranmere beating Panathinaikos. Belshina beats Valencia. Millwall beating Feyenoord, Inter Milan beating Wimbledon, Leeds beating Millwall, Deportivo La Coruña beating Brøndby, Man United beating Anderlecht, and then they beat Spartak Moscow. Right, so first of all, guys, we're going to have a look at who's in the Conference League, should we start off with. So Accrington, Bradford City are in the Conference League, and they have been for nearly a decade in the Conference League. They just cannot get, they can't get the points that they need to get out of the Conference League. Ipswich Town, they're in the Conference League. Oh crap, look how long they've been in the Conference League for. So nearly 40 years they've been in the Conference League. You'll notice they'll get low numbers of scoring because for some reason the game engine just can't hack. It can't hack the amount of people that scoring. Obviously, it's got to be something in the game engine. You see the amount of draws, and I guarantee they're 0-0 draws as well. Who else is in the conference that should be in the Premiership? No one else. Right, we'll have a look in Division 3. Start off at the top. So Aldershot, Bath, Boston, Burnley, Charlton Athletic. So going through their history, how long have they been in? No. Don't know what happened there. It's happened again. The back button's disappeared. So Charlton Athletic have been in Division 3 since, well, for nearly a decade now. Crewe Alexandra, they're there. Newcastle United. Let's see if it happens with them as well. It does. It gets rid of the back button. Newcastle United have been in Division 3 for 4 seasons, and you know they're definitely drawing a lot. Looking at this, but they're still getting a lot of wins, so they must be winning like 1-0s, obviously, because you know they've scored 29 goals and conceded 23 in the first season they were in Division 3. I mean, the season they got promoted from Division 3, won 18, drawn 19, lost 9, scored 31, conceded 20. Right, who else is in the 3rd division? Sheffield United, Torquay. Where's the highest that Torquay's got? I must see. So they got to Division 1, we all know that. Division 1 again. So it looks like Division 1, and only in Division 1 for 1 season, is the most they've ever done so far. Oh no, here we go. They're in Division 1 for a few seasons here. Then they get relegated to Division 2. 1 season in Division 2, then they get relegated to Division 3. But then they get promoted straight back up. It's a yo-yo thing for them. Right, let's have a look at the 2nd division. Bolton Wanderers. They've been in the 2nd division. This is their first season in the 2nd division because they've been in the 3rd division for a few years. So this is the first time they've been in the 2nd division since 2085. And they've still got 31,000 capacity stadium. Dropping down to Chelsea. And domestic leagues. And here we go. So they've been in the 2nd division for their 2nd season. When was the last time they were in the Premier League? 2060-63 season was the last time they were in the Premier League. Crystal Palace. They've been in Division 2 for a season. They just got promoted from Division 3. And when was the last time they were in the Premier League? A lot longer than Chelsea, that's for sure. I thought they were in the Premier League to start with. Obviously not. So I am talking absolute utter nonsense. We'll skip to Fulham. Domestic League, and it looks like they're just starting to have their slump. They were in the Premier League for 3 seasons, just shy of 7 years ago. Then they got to Division 1, straight down to Division 2. And they've been stuck in Division 2 around mid-table. They just survived relegation last season. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them now. Sunderland. Wow. Okay, so they've been in Division 2 for a long time. And last time they were in the Premier League, oh my god, 80 years ago. 80 years ago, Sunderland were in the Premier League. That is crazy. And Telford United are in Division 2 right now. They have got to the Premier League, of course. And the highest they've ever come was second twice. Oh, that was so close for them. So close, but yet so far. How much is their stadium now anyway? 21,000. Alright, let's have a look at the first division. So, Clevedon Town. 6,000 stadium, 1,000 seats. Kingstonians, their names popped up a few times. Just shy of 15,000 stadium. Liverpool. Right, Liverpool's the first team in Division 1 that was in the Premier League. And we're going to domestic league. So they've only just been relegated from the Premier League, actually, Liverpool. And they have been fighting in the Premier League for a handful of years. I mean, they've been fighting a few times to get back into the Premier League. But I mean, they are there. They're still there. They're still making some noise. Liverpool are. What other obscure teams? I have to see what their stadium size is. 35,000. And look at their rich history. Intercontinental Cup winners, Champions League winners, Super Cup winners, FA Cup winners, League Cup winners, Vans Trophy winners, Charity Shield winners, Premier League winners, First Division winners, Second Division winners. They just haven't won the Third Division and the UEFA Cup. That's the only 2 things that they haven't won. And the World Club Cup, sorry. So 3 things that they haven't won. That's it. What a history for Plymouth Argyle. Southampton's in Division 1. Right, they've been in here for a long time. When was the last time they were in the Premier League? 2027. So now we're still looking at another 8 decades that they over 7 decades they've been away from the Premier League. Shows it's really hard to get back into the Premier League once it's been so long. Stafford Rangers, they're in Division 1. 11,000 stadium. Tottenham Hotspurs in Division 1 too. And they've only just been relegated from the Premier League only a couple of seasons ago. I mean, they First Division last season, of course. They finished 18th and they had 56 points. And you look at the year they got promoted from the First Division, they got 83. So they're only 27 points away from the season when they got promoted. And what a vast difference it is. Second with 83 points, 18th with 56. That's a vast difference. Watford, Wimbledon, Wrexham's had a magnificent history. Amount of times I've read their names out. So let's see. World Club Cup Championships they've won, UEFA Cup they've won, Super Cup they've won, FA Cup they've won, League Cup they've won, Vans Trophy they haven't won, Charity Shield they've won, Premier League they've won, First Division they haven't won it, Second Division they've won, Third Division they've won it. So Conference League, Division 1 and Vans Trophy is the only titles they haven't won. What a massive history for Wrexham. Alright, we'll have a look in the Premier League now. So we're going to see some of the regular names and a lot of other names too. Arsenal, they're still there, 38,000 seater stadium. Basingstoke, 20,000, and they're bankrupt. Birmingham City, 35,000, and they're rich. Blackpool, 31,000. Brentford, 23,000 seater stadium. Chesterfield, 10,000. You wonder how these teams are able to get into the Premier League with this. 17,000 with Gillingham. Harrow Borough. We'll look at their history because we said their name a few times as well. I mean, look at that. For a non-league team to start off with. Conference League they've won, Third Division they've won, Second Division runners-up, First Division won, Premier League won, Charity Shield won, Vans Trophy won, League Cup, UEFA Cup. So, World Club Cup, European Super Cup, European Champions League, and the Second Division's the only titles they haven't won so far. What a great history for them. Huddersfield Town, 26,000 stadium. Leeds United, 40,000 stadium. What was that about their academy? Oh, Top Plus Youth Academy, yeah. Leicester City, their stadium's definitely gone down. Manchester City, Main Road, just shy of 45,000. Man United, 67,000. And look, of course, there's no Glazers, of course. Millwall, 35,000. Purfleet, we've said their names a few times, 16,500. So, yeah, so we've mentioned their name a few times, obviously, in the local, in the English tournaments, English leagues, English cups, but not in European football. So that might be next for them. That might be the next objective for them. QPR, still at Loftus Road. Sheffield Wednesday, they're still at Hillsborough. Southport, 10,000 stadium. They've won. They've won the Conference Third and Second Division. Runners up in the First. See, so they haven't got the Premier League yet. They haven't got the First Division trophy, nor the League Cup, nor the FA Cup, and then Charity Shield. That's it. They would have won everything. So not that far away for Southport, to be fair. Tranmere Rovers, Prenton Park, just shy of 27,000, and their history is so good as well. Their history is magnificent to read. Okay, and lastly, Wolves. We haven't seen if they're still at Molineux. Yes, they are. They've got a rich European history too. The only thing they haven't won is the Conference League and the Vans Trophy. They've done everything else in the World Club Cup. So they haven't got that far to go either. Alright, we'll have a look at the quick through the Olympics. So 04. I'm looking to see if we can see England in this, or Great Britain, it might be known as there. So at the moment it doesn't look like England are that good, obviously. Nope, nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. What about the European Championship? So we've got to scroll the way back down. So Italy, Greece, and then England beating France in the final, with Scotland hosting 2008 Euros. Okay, Scotland winning it in 2012. France beating Greece, Germany beating Russia, Belgium beating Austria, Bosnia beating England in 2028, Yugoslavia, Belarus in 2036, Sweden beating Wales, England beating France. So that's the second time England's won the Euros. England beating Portugal, that's the third time, and we hosted it too. Ukraine, two tournaments on the trot, Romania winning it. Come on. England beating Russia. So that's 4 times England have won the Euros. Italy won it 4 times in the space of 26 years, 24 years. That's not bad at all. What about the African Cup of Nations? I'm looking to see if the not being disrespectful, but a stupid country, if it has won it. I mean, a country that you'd never come across, like Angola. You know, they've won it a couple of times. They've won it a fair few times, actually. African Cup of Nations. So they've never won the African Cup of Nations, and yet they win it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times. That's crazy. Senegal winning it. Egypt winning it. That is absolutely bonkers. What about the Copa America? Chile winning it twice so far. Mexico, Argentina, Brazil. You expect that to happen. Bolivia, Chile again. Colombia, Ecuador. Paraguay. Seriously. What about the OFC nations? Now, obviously we can see that Australia are going to be obviously more dominant in this tournament. New Zealand's won it a few times though. Vanuatu, really? American Samoa, really? They've won this? Right, records. Australia's won it 45 times. Copa America, Argentina 32 times. African Cup of Nations, Nigeria 14 times. European Championships, Italy's won it 6 times. Olympics, Italy 6 times. What about the Confederations Cup? So Brazil's won it twice. Oh, the Confederations Cup seemed to stop in 2007. So there must be a glitch there. Although, I mean, the last thing we haven't seen, guys, is the World Cup. And then we'll have a look at the FIFA World Rankings too. And already we can see that England's won it. So we'll scroll all the way down. So Italy, Brazil in the 2002. Ecuador came third. Honduras came third the next tournament after. Japan wins it in 2010. And it gets stupid because Belarus beat Holland in the final in 2018. Mexico win it. England wins it twice in 2026 and 2030. So England does have chance in 3 years' time to hopefully win the World Cup. Mind you, this is based on no real players. England wins it again in 2042 by beating Iceland. So Iceland had either got past Argentina or some. That is just crazy. China comes third the tournament after. Scotland second the tournament after that. Ukraine beating Switzerland. England again beating France. Poland beats England the tournament after. The Argentina held it twice. That's a bit weird. Finland wins it, beating South Korea in the final. Ecuador beats England in the final. Belarus beats Russia. France beats Argentina. Russia twice. They've won it. And Algeria comes runners up against England in the last one, and we hosted it 2 tournaments in a row. And Brazil are the most time winners of the World Cup. So have a look at the FIFA rankings. We'll start bottom, see if there's any big nations that has dropped so far down the pecking order. So far we haven't seen any big countries that generically is a big country in Championship Manager. No, so far we haven't come across one. Switzerland, you can class them as a big country. Wales. Wow, England 135th. England 135th. How is that possible? Denmark 133rd, Czech Republic 130th, Spain 127th, Qatar are above Spain, and England and Wales, USA, Bulgaria, San Marino. That just, let's end the video right here. San Marino are above Spain, England, Wales, Czech Republic. That's just ridiculous now. Fiji, Cuba, Faroe Islands, come on. India, Azerbaijan and Oman are really. Lithuania, Thailand apparently are ranked higher. So's Dominica and Chad. Grenada apparently are. Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Come on. Central African Republic, St. Lucia, Panama. It's just getting ridiculous. It's getting worse and worse. St. Kitts and Nevis, Angola, Guatemala, Cape Verde Islands, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania. I'm not saying all of them because I think I'll be doing a whole video just based on these countries being higher than Spain and England and Wales and some of the other countries. Madagascar, they're 23rd. Democratic Republic of Congo, they're ranked 20th in the world, followed by Sudan. Brazil was 17th. Now we're getting to the top 16. Tunisia, Algeria, Australia, Ethiopia, Senegal and Togo. That follows up to the top 10, which is Croatia, Belgium, Russia, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Turkey, Portugal, France, and just by the skin of their teeth, Nigeria are ranked the best country on Championship Manager 0102. That is in the year 2101-2102. That is incredible. Really, really is. I mean, before we do go, we'll have a look to see the biggest transfers in years gone by. So 12 million in 2102, 17 3/4. 17 3/4 of a million is the highest transfer fee I've seen so far. £21.5 million. Can't even look at the players anymore. 22 million Plymouth Argyle to Man United. 39 million Francesco Jose Rubio from Man U to Real Madrid. 21 million Vasco to Real Madrid. 77 million pounds Ricardo Quixote from Man U to Juventus. 32 million Ricardo. Oh, gone wrong way, haven't we? Ben Brooker. 28 million Juno Tayanen, Leeds to Valencia. 35 million Derek Bruce, Charlton to Tottenham Hotspurs. 35.5 Sergio Ferretti, Bristol City to Roma. 30 million Sergio Gonzalez. What a name is that? You have a mum and a dad, and they say, we're going to name him Sergio Gonzalez. The surname is that good, we're going to have his middle name or his second name the same as his surname. Really? Come on, Championship Manager. 45.5 million Mike Reynolds from QPR to Valencia. Valencia spent a lot of money. 24 million Stefan Seedorf, Leicester to Lazio. Cyril Barud, Leicester to Valencia again. They spend big every other season, they do. Albert Tor, Leicester to Barcelona. 24 million there. Thomas, is it Theonis, from Coventry to Lazio. £75 million. Christophe Brunet from Fulham to Barcelona. Roberto Alvarez Rodriguez from Valencia to Liverpool for £24 million. Fabrice Charbonneau, 34 million. So we are going to start coming across some players that we do know shortly. Oh no, we won't, because there's not real players, so we'll never know any of them. Duranda Lima de Barros, Roma to Dortmund, 32 million. Trevor Middleton, Deportivo to Dortmund, £33 million. Theo Arts from PSV to Real Madrid. Wow. Jacob Tenstedt from Liverpool to Real Madrid for £43.5 million. And that is it. That is it. I mean, if we want to go here, Sebastian Forrest, Arsenal to Real Madrid for 36 million, and Emiliano Giannini, Inter Milan to Barcelona for 31 million pounds. But guys, this has been quite an incredible journey, looking through all of this history in the 100 years not using real players on Championship Manager 0102. Guys, if you have liked this video, please make sure that you do smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell too. If this is something else you want to see once again with using the real players on Championship Manager 0102, leave a comment down below. Let me know that is what you would like. Also, we're going to be firing up some Football Manager 2012 videos as well. We're going to see if we can do some years in the future with that, so please leave a comment down below if that's something that you would like to see as well. But guys, it has been crazy looking at 100 years in the future. I know we've done one for 150 years using the real players, but this for me, this seemed a hell of a lot more crazier than the one that we used before. If you haven't seen the one before, like I said, it was on the cards at the beginning of the video. Have a look on our channel, it is there, and it's in the description down below, so please click on that link, it will take you straight to it as well. But guys, once again, it has been an honour doing these videos for you. It is absolutely brilliant to try and entertain each and every one of you every week with this fantastic game, with the great content this game can give you. But like I said, with the notification bell, hit that notification bell, select all for notifications so you know exactly when the latest video has been uploaded to the channel. But apart from that, guys, thank you very much for your love, support and continuous watching my videos, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you the next video that we have on my channel here at TGR, that's Gaming Robo.
Game over, man.